Okay, so let's move on to the next unique mode, and that's what appears to be by the forms of, well, as soon as I get my controller, Mini-Game Decathlon, get the highest point total. So this is before when Mario Party 6 managed to have this as well, along with Mario Party 7, and especially notable with recently Mario Party the Top 100, well despite Super Mario Party was actually the most recent installment out there. But regardless of everything else though, is the fact that we're actually going to be have some fun here. So basically, in Mini-Game Decathlon, it's pretty simple. Basically, we're actually going to be playing through 10 mini-games into this whole entire decathlon. And basically, depending on what mini-games you're actually entering into, sometimes it's all about time-based, and as a result, the more you're able to actually perform those mini-games very, very well, it actually tallies your points total depending on how well you do for certain mini-games. So, for instance, the first mini-game we have here is Ground Pound Down, and basically this is all time-based, so because of that though, whoever gets the quickest towards at the very end of this particular mini-game, whoever gets like the highest scores based off on the forms of how quick you are doing. So the highest amount of points you can go up to in each minigame is actually 1,000, and I believe the maximum grand total is 10,000 points, so at least if you're trying to able to master it everything. So even though despite the fact that I didn't manage to able to do the ridiculous amount of button mashing, because as you know, then I was going to be doing really dang good when it comes to button mashing and stuff like that. So I will try my best if I was trying to able to get the highest score as much as I can, but I highly guarantee by that. So, and after the minigame is over, we actually get ourselves a nice little transition with that specific camera scrolling, and especially noticeable how the fact that they just managed to able to get ourselves a transition between the forms of the stadium itself and the minigame. So, and as a result, the actual, the time, as you can tell, there's now been tallied as in the amount of points you'd be getting. So in this case, I managed to able to get ourselves the good amount of points. So, and obviously the next minigame we'll hop onto is Chomp Romp, which we've already seen this quite a few times already. So in this case though, yeah, we're able to actually just try to do this in the quickest time if possible. So, excuse me, I'm sorry about this point, folks, because I somehow got something stuck in my throat. But I'll try to able to actually fix that at some point, and hopefully my voice should be back to its normal state as well. So, well, until specifically the later uploading schedules in particular. So you probably get the idea for that. So, and as far as the amount of mini-games are concerned, when it comes to Mini-Game Decathlon, well, it's nothing randomized, unlike Mario Party 7, as well as the forms of some occasional single-player experiences in similarities like this. Like, for instance, there is Test for the Best from Mario Party 8, and also Time Attack between both Mario Party 9 and Island Tour, and especially noticeable with Bowser Challenge in Mario Party 10, and also, I think that's about it. Oh yeah, and aside from the Decathlon mode in, well, obviously the Mario Party the Top 100. So, well, aside from the fact that, well, that particular, the Top 100 Decathlon remains exactly the same as the, well, 5 and 6 most likely. Like, you play for the exact same mini-games, all things considered. So it's usually the exact same order. Like, for instance, in the forms of this variation, the one that started it all in terms of Mini-Game Decathlon, it always starts off as Ground Down Pound, and then the second round we'll hop onto is, well, obviously Chomp Romp, which we already did done. The third event is, of course, Flower Shower, and the final event, it will have to be by the forms of Triple Jump. So, yeah, things doesn't get that much more complicated here and there. It's pretty simple for the most part. And this is, without a doubt, the most out-of-place minigame in Mini-Game Decathlon sometimes. Mainly it's because this is all points-based. But I honestly don't mind about this at all. Mainly it's because, well, since I managed to play this mode the ridiculous amount of times back in the day, and I even remember that I believe that White Teddy did manage to able to upload this particular video back in 2011, despite the fact that that particular video is no longer there anymore, just because, well, for one noticeable thing, obviously bad quality, and also bad commentary as well, and as a result, it's divided into two parts, you know, kind of like Minigame Stadium from both Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2. Well, in Mario Party 2 back in the day, Oh wow, I got 818 points I've managed to got. That sounds like a pretty good score. I did manage to able to obtain the insane amounts of those flowers as I managed to got. But either way though, and sometimes they managed to able to save your records depending on how well you do in certain minigames. So of course the next event we'll hop on to is Leaf Leap. So since I did manage to able to get screwed over last time, so because of that though, hopefully our mouse will get a little bit more better this time around. At least I hope so anyway, so. But yeah, there's not much else I can say in terms of Mini-Game Decathlon. It's pretty much just almost like an endurance kind of mini-game marathon of any sorts. Well, despite you able to play 10 mini-games, depending on the forms of several of those, well, I don't know how do I usually try to explain this, because I know it has been a couple of days since I actually did manage to play Decathlon mode. I think the last time I actually played Decathlon mode is actually from the forms of not only the 10 minigame version, but also the half Decathlon from the likes of the top 100. I think that was the last time I actually did play those kinds of modes, so at least forgive me for that specific apologies and all that stuff though, which I must admit though I do apologize for that, so. And of course I've got myself 117 meters, so that seems like a pretty good, you know, meter. Well, specifically trying to able to climb onto something, so that gives me 584 points, so that should be average as far as I'm aware. So this will pretty much still gives me in the lead for about, you know, 28,000 or so points. So yeah, that seems kind of a good record from my circumstances anyway so far. Well, at least I haven't touched upon this you know, Decathlon for quite a long time, as I said this before, but you probably know me because I haven't exactly existed yet for as in plush form, so. Alright, so next we have Nightlight Fright again, so in this case my record on there is 1.0 meters, so I was literally that close, but at least I'll take it, because if you somehow manage to get knocked out by the chain jump, well, you're probably not going to get any points whatsoever, so that's something worth keeping in mind. So in this case, that Luigi has screwed it up tremendously on that minigame, so in this case, he has no points, so, and I'm sure enough that he will be on exactly 4th place, so, and once again, I'm still in the lead. So there's not much right to home about for the sake of time, but at least it's kind of fun to play through, so, next round is Dingo Derby. I think my record on this one is 22, if I recall, which I think is actually almost a perfect record. I think to get like, you know, 1,000 points in this minigame is that you have to hit all 30 of those baseballs. So, although there's also the equivalence to this, but it forms of in Mario Party 8 with Swing Kings, but the amount of total points they've got is actually like 10 lesser than the forms of how it does it on this. So, but even then though, we'll talk more about Mario Party 8 during at some point in 2022, that's for sure. Excuse me, I'm really sorry about this point, folks. I really do need to fix my throat for a little bit, so just in case I need to get some, you know, more drink of water before I start to do some more recording sessions on this, and that's as far as I can usually describe about it. So because of that though, I can assure you, because the temperature itself might be still a bit hot around here, so I'm also able to actually you know, turn on the fan on eventually. So one thing I do appreciate with this is that every time whenever we progress, oh, somehow I managed to get 24, so in this case I've got 660 points, so that seems like a decent number. And yeah, every time whenever we move on to the next few minigames, well, to be more specifically, when it gets to the halfway point or something, basically, the actual time of day decides to change. Well, it wasn't until once we finish up with event number 7 here, by the forms of Hydro Stars first. And basically, after we're done with this particular minigame, I'm pretty sure the time of day will change into, well, let's just say, into sunset. So, yeah, that seems kind of interesting, all things considered, which even then though, because of that though, that's why I just always love to prefer replaying for the classic Mario Party games over and over again, due to the forms of how charming the actual visual style can be. Well, as far as for the most part anyway. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and just you know, you get the idea, trying to get the exact same number orders of stars before you get into the actual goal. And, yeah, and this time around though, dang it, I just got hit by 2 crates. But it doesn't matter to me though, because I can simply just manage able to get a move on right here and just go straight to the finish line. And let's see how the other 3 players are doing. Even though, mind you, sometimes they, if they manage to reach for about 90 seconds or something, basically the minigame will instantly end when it gets to like 90 seconds or somewhat, which kind of does that, continues that tradition until, well, let's just say Mario Party 6 and Mario Party 7. So because of that though, well, at least to be more specifically, Decathlon Park in Mario Party 6 and Decathlon Castle from Mario Party 7. So yeah, that's as far as I can usually try to describe it. So it looks like that Luigi was still in 4th place, and Wario was still in 3rd place, and Waluigi's in 2nd place, but I'm still on top. And I believe we only got 3 minigames left, so let's see what's up next. We have Will Flower, so my record on this is 13 seconds and 94 milliseconds, so hopefully I should be able to just get myself the best record here. Oh, I think my fingers are actually getting a little bit more painful, but regardless of everything else though, guys, there's not much else I can say. Okay, 10 seconds and 44 milliseconds, so that should give me a bigger score. So in this case, let's see how the other 3 are doing. Luigi done his, and oh wow, Wario and Waluigi almost did theirs within a close second or 2. And now it's getting to a much more of a sunset vibe to it, as you can see on screen. And I believe the next minigame is going to be Later Skater, and as far as I'm aware, as I said this before, the final minigame on this Decathlon, it will be, obviously, Triple Jump. So, yeah, there's not much else to say about this here. So, same positions, pretty much unchanged for the most part, so I'm quite surprised that Luigi hasn't catch up to Wario, though. Yeah, it's Later Skaters next. So, yeah, I actually do really like this mode, as I said this before, because not only was this mode super unique, where they managed to able to introduce these kinds of modes like this, but also it's because it will become much more stable in the future, which I appreciate that, even though, mind you, they're able to actually get, you know, different minigames as opposed to the same minigame. So, unless if you really want to count, well, obviously the top 100, because you'll be playing the exact same minigames over and over and over again without even changing up the forms of specific, well, minigame orders and stuff like that. Which I'll give Mario Party 9 some credit for when it comes to time attack mode. At least in that particular mode in Mario Party 9, they can able to actually change which specific order of minigames of your choice. Whilst the forms of Mario Party 5 and 6 remains the exact same order, depending on what replay abilities you go into. And as far as Mario Party 7 is concerned, sometimes they change the random selections of minigames they go for, and depending on how much matches you go for, either 10 rounds or 5 rounds, so yeah, it's kind of similar to the top 100 Decathlon mode. So, and also same applies to Mario Party 8 Test for the Best, that basically that most of these minigames are randomized, so. And as far as I'm aware, oh yeah, I forgot about Mario Party DS actually, for the sake of Score Scuffle. Oh, actually, I'll get into more details about that later, because I'm gonna do, oh jeez, a lot of more button mashing, but this time on Triple Jump. But at least I managed to went past through 30 meters or more. Well, yeah, at least as far as I can usually think about for that jump distance there. Yeah, there's also another Decathlon mode in the Mario Party game, which appears to be on Mario Party DS, known as, obviously, Score Scuffle mode, and basically it functions the same thing as most Decathlon modes in Mario Party 5, 6, and 7, and, well, usually they just manage to have the exact same, minigames order, at least if I recall that correctly. So because of that though, it has been a while since I actually played Mario Party DS, mainly because I'm pretty much still going to be playing through, you know, Metroid Prime Hunters recently on the Nintendo DS, before when, God knows until when Metroid Prime 4 we're able to actually get ourselves some more infos and stuff like that, so once all 10 minigames have been accomplished, then basically it tells you the final results in the actual Decathlon winner. And basically, since this is now nighttime, so this means about the fact that the stadium itself is about to close by that time. I mean, can you imagine how the hypeness was actually involved in the actual crowd? I mean, I do really like that. So because of that though, and my score tally overall for the sake of this decathlon throughout is 7,051 points. So that seems like a good number as far as I can tell from this point. So yeah, I actually do enjoy this mode, like I said this before. So in this case though, nope, because we are about to be moving on to the next mode, but I'm sure enough I'll be able to replay this mode anytime I like to do. But for now, onwards to the next mode.